Greetings, all, the old captain here. Continuing on with Worthless Degree Awareness Month. June is Worthless Degree Awareness Month. You got your kids graduating soon, or you yourself might be graduating soon. Do not be a moron. Okay, you can be a moron, but don't go to school for a worthless degree. That's why we got the book Worthless. That's why we have Worthless Degree Awareness Month. Today we're going to talk about I'm sending my kid to college. This is for the parents. Okay, I know a lot of you students, you youngins, your parents gave you a choice. They say, you better get a job or go to school. And then, oh crap, well, I better get a job or go to school. And I've mentioned before, you don't want to get a job because that's hard. So you think I'm going to go to school. Not to mention you've been conditioned all these years to go to school. You don't know what to study. You don't know where to go. You have no game plan. So why not start pissing away years of your life and tens, 20s, 30s of thousands of dollars of yours or your parents' money or both on this degree that you're not too sure of. Just go down that path with no direction. It's always worked out very well for people. Right? But I want to focus on the parents and the concept of I'm sending my kids to college, or I got to save up for my kids' way to college. Question: why are you sending your kids to college? This is not your education. I understand the concept or the goodwill or the intention of helping your kids pay for their education, helping them. But a better question is, why are you telling them what to do? That's how the side that I'm looking at. Why are you determining, like, oh, I'm going to send my kids to college? Aren't they 18? Don't they have pubes? Can't they get drafted and go get shot over in some sandbox overseas? Why are you still determining what they're going to do and not going to do, even if they leave the house? Again, I understand that if you pay for things, you're paying for the food, clothing, rent, shelter, because they're millennials. You can't actually let them, sink or swim, push them out of the nest, see if they fly, which has happened with birds billions of times over. But why are you having any kind of say? Guidance, yes. Suggestion, yes. But now you're going to pay? When does it end? And do you parents, I know a lot of you think it's 1968. You still think that, like, going to college, have you guys paid attention to the news? Have you exercised some critical thinking skills you learned in college in the 70s and the early 80s? Do you not question, like, okay, you must go to college for anything and anything. I don't care as long as you're in college. And you don't attach any strings attached to the real world? So that when the kid goes to college, they have, after you blow $25,000, $30,000, $50,000, heaven help you, some of you send your kids to these worthless private schools like Middlebury, right? What, don't you think that after that much time, effort, and your life that you sacrifice to make that money, that maybe your kids should have some kind of employment and tangible skill thereafter? No, it's just you think it's like Gerald Ford and Nixon, like, yep, just go to college. Whoa, man, yeah, I'm expanding my mind. Woo, this is going to get me a job. No, I know this may shock you. Times have changed, baby boomers and old Gen Xers. It ain't the 70s, 80s, or the 60s no more. The economy is different. Once again, I say, have you not paid attention to the news? Do you not see all of these children? Don't you have friends who have children? Don't you know neighborhood kids who went and got a BA in political science, a BA in English, even though we live in an English-speaking country, a bachelor's of art in any one of these hyphenated studies like African American studies, women's studies, Latino studies, Chicano American, any of these veritable grievance, victimhood, professional victim horror studies? Have you not seen the results? And I don't know if not only the kids are being conditioned and brainwashed, but are you parents as well being brainwashed to say, well, I must send my kid to college. Must go to college. Children must go to college. They said so on the boob tube. Anderson Cooper said so. Obey, obey, sign away. Second mortgage, guys? Look, I got clients. I'll tell the story again because hopefully we're getting some new listeners. I got clients, baby boomers, who have they paid their kids way through not just college, but then grad school. And I don't know if you knew this, grad school is a little bit more expensive than undergrad. And it's for worthless shit. Worthless slop. Philosophy, education, all this, well, even education at least there's a job at the end of that one. Art, creative writing, that was my favorite. When someone paid for their 38-year-old son's master's in creative writing, I think that was the best one. And they signed away at these student loans, which, by the way, if you didn't know, aren't forgivable in bankruptcy. And now it's torpedoed, completely destroyed any chance you guys have at retirement. I don't know how many torpedoes I've seen thrown into older people's retirements because they foolishly signed off and decided that they're going to pay their children's way through college. When does math and reality and forecasting come in? When do you guys wake up? See, because unlike your kids who are predominantly a byproduct of their environment, they didn't just form in a vacuum, they're heavily influenced, if not 80%, 90% determined by how you raise them, the school they went to, the teachers, the television, the movies, the media, the politicians. All right, they're just a blank slate. And you guys are the ones that start putting programs and things on the empty hard drive. So they are I kind of give them a little bit more forgiveness and leeway. But you guys, you're adults. Your pubes are turning gray. What the hell, people? And you're just going to tell your kids the same advice that worked back in 1967? Hoping it applies today in 2017? And then you don't bother to look and use your brain and say, hey, I worked in the real world and we all speak English pretty well in this country except California. Should my son go spend 8 more years, even though he's already fluent in reading, writing, and speaking it, should I just spend my 401k money sending him to get a doctorate in philosophy or English? Again, Worthless Degree Awareness Month, my goal, my dream, is unlike cancer, this can be solved tomorrow. Tomorrow. And it's going to have I don't want to compare apples to oranges here, but it's going to do a lot of good for Americans and other countries where you have similar bubbles, Western nations predominantly. We can, tomorrow, Gen Z, millennials is too late. Gen X, it was too late. Baby boomers, you're almost done with your final chapter. But we don't have to have future young Americans go down this unnecessary, expensive, and life-crippling path of getting worthless degrees and going to, quote, college. Right? All we gotta do, I know it sounds nerdy, raise awareness. Use the hashtag Worthless Degree Awareness Month. Forward stuff to friends. Send them, get this book for your kids. And if you know some kids that are graduating, but their parents are, dude, you do whatever you want. Well, man, yeah. All right, maybe buy them this book as a graduation gift. All right? All we have to do is spread the words and tell these blank slates of computer disc coming out of high school, thinking, I will go to college. I will follow my heart and the money will follow. All we have to do is say, hey, kid, wake up. No, you're not going to major in fucking women's studies. No, you're not going to major in philosophy. Do you see the price? I know your teacher that makes $23,000 a year, working 9 months a year, told you to follow your heart and money will follow. I know that woman does not work in the real world, never set foot in the real world. They're teachers. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Now, you want to spend $250,000 over at Evergreen to be a philosopher? Here's a library card, kid. Go knock yourself out with Plato and Socrates. You'll become a better philosophy major than all of them because they're all being taught Marxist indoctrinating shit. It can happen this month. We can have, starting this month, tomorrow, preferably this year, within a year's time, we could actually end a real scourge in the country. Unlike you guys trying to stop global warming. How'd that work out with Trump? Did that work out well for you? I didn't think so. Cancer, that's obviously a much more difficult hurdle. This is a societal scourge, a genuine problem that has a very easy solution. And all we have to do is love our children enough to be honest with them. To take the time to sit and think and do a little bit of math. Say, holy crap, this is very, very, very bad. To overcome this concept that the college experience is some kind of American birthright for spoiled kids from the suburbs. And it isn't worth it anyway. You want to really love your kids, you want to do them a solid so they're not moving back in at 35 or asking you for handouts. Asking to get a master's in creative frickin' writing, 35 years old. All right? Tell them the truth. If you have trouble telling the truth, get this book. It's cheap. This is $5 Kindle, 8 paperback. I think even the audio book is $7. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than $250,000 sending your kid to Middlebury or some of these lame, worthless New England colleges nestled within the mountains. Anyway, it's Worthless Degree Awareness Month. Use the hashtag. Share, like, do whatever. You don't even have to link to my... I don't care. I'm not really doing it. Well, yeah, I am trying to make a lot of money off of this. But by God, I'd die a happy man if all of a sudden, before, 2020 rolls around, nobody's going into the liberal arts. The United States all of a sudden mans the frick up. We all become STEM engineer and programmers and technicians and tradesmen and other people, and we just start kicking ass and producing a ton of GDP. Be better than us, like looking at our navels and protesting because of people's skin color, because they're the wrong gender or whatever else. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.